Ruchit is with us, and so is Mohit and Mr. Subramaniam. Let's start with Mohit. Mohit, first of all, on the index itself, your thoughts. And the rally seemed to have gotten pretty skewed towards these oil and gas stocks, at least yesterday.
Well, on the index, I should be trading below levels of 8800, which is a crucial resistance zone. We're kind of cooling off and behaving sluggish below those levels, and we also yesterday broke down below levels of 8750. Now my bias is that we might slide lower over the next coming few days towards levels of 8550, which is a strong support zone. It's the previous swing low, and until we hold up above that, it's okay. But if we break below that, then even 88,300 is on the cards. So for now, the bias is slightly negative, and hence maybe it's a good time to start booking profits on stocks where you're sitting long, like especially the oil marketing companies you spoke about, HPCL, BPCL, IOC. They're all trading at new highs and look okay on the charts for now, but maybe it's a good time to start lightening up those positions, especially if you've held them on since the last few months. So my bias is on the whole to lighten positions on the portfolio and not aggressively go short on the index, but take light short positions from a day or 2 days point of view.
Okay, Ruchit, good morning. Do you I wanted to just separate the market into 2 or 3 parts. One, oil and gas. We've seen that significant rally come through, and the charts are beautiful. I mean, in all of them, including Reliance. But when I look at PSU banks, I sometimes get a feeling that this is a fake fall, that the PSU banks are actually the strongest out of the pack, and the shorts may get trapped again, because whenever we see a rise in them, then we start seeing Allahabad and Central start to get 7, 8% in a day.
Morning, Ashu. Well, Ashu, I think this time it would be different, because we have seen after even a significant rally, after a long period of time, we have seen some sort of bearish patterns getting formed in most of the PSU banks. Even if you observe the Nifty PSU bank index, that is PSU banking index, then the short-term indicator, the short-term trend following indicator, which is super trend, after a period of about 7 to 8 months, that is for the first time has turned negative. Further, last 3 trading sessions, we have seen formation of an evening star pattern, which is again a trend reversal candlestick pattern, and is usually formed after a significant rally. So, and if you observe some of the large cap stocks such as State Bank, SBI, Bank of Baroda, Oriental Bank of Commerce, some of these stocks have also formed some bearish patterns. So I think this time it won't be just trap that wherein the prices would consolidate and again resume its uptrend. I think the PSU banking stocks in short term would show some corrective action along with the markets. Nifty, definitely, if we speak about the markets coming to that, then the last 3 weeks we have been mentioning that after formation of this shooting star pattern on the weekly charts, Nifty has not crossed its previous high. Now on the daily charts, we also have a low top, low bottom formation, and 8800, 8820, which was a stiff resistance for the index, that has not been crossed in this recent up move. So I think this consolidation phase in the markets would continue, and the recent lows which are there around 8550 would get tested. So PSU banks would be I think they would in line with the markets would correct in short term till the Nifty goes up to 8550. Oil and gas sector, definitely it has been one of the outperformer. One needs to give higher weightage to what is happening to the volumes along with the price momentum. Yes, if we see the last 7 to 8 months charts, then these stocks have already rallied, and we might we might think that the prices have already rallied significantly. But what needs to see, are the volumes lower after this rally, and that is not the case. Even at current levels, the up move in the last few trading sessions has been supported by very huge volumes, which indicates that a strong buyers are still there even at current levels in these stocks. So I won't be going short in the oil and gas pack. I think the outperformance could continue in this space, but along with the markets, PSU banks could show some corrective move, and that could be a good trade for short-term traders to take on the short side.
Mr. Subramaniam, good morning. Your thoughts on Reliance, your thoughts also on some of the oil and gas stocks, but I also want to ask you what's ailing Yes Bank, ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, because they are actually breaking support after support.
To begin with, I think if we take the private sector banks which have seen some sort of weakness, I think Yes Bank post that debacle, I think that has seen some pretty disappointed long unwinding coming out, because it's had an incredible run up. But my sense is that some more correction could continue, and we could see the stock probably slide further. before we see some sort of support. It has already taken some sort of an intermediate support, but probably that was that could be short-lived, and we could see some more correction coming about. But as far as the other banks are concerned, ICICI Bank distinctly looks a little more weaker than the rest of the private sector banks, and we've also seen it losing ground in the last few days, and particularly post the issue of the insurance arm. I mean, we are seeing that a long unwinding coming about. Now the shorts are also creeping in. So I think we could see some more weakness coming about in that space. And coming to your question on Reliance, probably we need some sort of, it has shown some very good strength in the last, probably the September series was pretty decent for Reliance. But I would be more comfortable booking some profits at current levels. Of course, my sense is that clearing levels of 1150 could be quite difficult, and current levels are, I mean, considering the fact that it's had such a, such a sluggish run in the last few months. We have seen a spike in the last 1 month, but notwithstanding that, I would prefer to book some profits in the counter.
All right, we'll take some mid-cap stocks now. I wanted to talk with Indotech Transformers. Can we just bring up that stock? Also, Barak Valley Cements. If we can bring up that stock also. We'll look at yesterday's chart if we can, and then we'll see. So if you 1 year chart, it's a very accumulation distribution chart. So I'd be very, very careful about this stock. This is your typical trader's trap. You know, I really don't care whether they went up 19% yesterday. Just bring up the 1 year chart again. You want to avoid a trap? I'd like to show you what the trap looks like. Can we bring it up at 1 year? This is a trader's trap. So it'll accumulate when it accumulates, and it'll distribute when it distributes. So you want to take a high risk trade, it's really your call. Barak Valley Cements, if we can just look at that one. That's another interesting stock. I wanted to look at Jindal Stainless. Yeah, so this one's a clean chart, and if you look at the annual chart also, it's been on a nice steady ascent, so that's fine. Maybe it went into a downward channel, but it started to move again. But again, these are lower liquidity stocks, so that's going to happen. Jindal Stainless, if you can just put that up. And Goodyear Tire, we spoke about it yesterday, also looks very interesting. Goodyear Tire, yeah, so again, this is a spike stock. You remember I mentioned to you yesterday, somebody buys the stock, leaves it there, and then it starts to move up. No, I don't like the pattern. Maybe it's up, but I don't like it, but I'll check with the Goodyear Tire, Goodyear India, sorry. And if we can look at KM Sugar. Now, Goodyear, look at the action. All these stocks are actually getting pumped up and then left to float. Do I like the structure? I mean, you figure. Why is it that a stock is pumped up and left to float? Why doesn't it just continue to float? If there are buyers and sellers through the day, it should just smoothly go up. Same with KM Sugar. But they have a trend, so we got to mention it. Can we bring up a 1 year chart? So when you see spikes in a bull market, the spike may not be a bad thing. But if you see a spike in an otherwise uncertain market, like let's say the index starts going up and down, please be exceedingly careful, because it may be telling you that stock may not sustain itself. What?
Well, we start off with KM Sugar. This is looking good on the charts. It's trading at 52-week highs. You need to have a deep stop here around levels of 1650, and this could perhaps head higher towards levels of 19 to 120 in the coming few days. As far as Barak Valley goes, that also on the charts is looking good. It's seen a good up move, locked up on upper circuit. This could head higher next towards levels of 30 to 30.50. This could be bought with a stop loss at 27. Indotech also is looking okay on the charts, seen a good up move in trade yesterday, locked up on upper circuit. However, there are some supply zones around the levels of 245. So on the upside, 245 could be a potential target. This could be bought with a stop loss at 225. And lastly, Jindal Stainless. That's seen a good up move in trade yesterday, and this could perhaps head higher towards levels of 31 to 32. But again, there is some kind of supply zone around 32. So this could head higher for another $3 or $4.
All right, Mohit. Well, let's see what the market does. There's nothing in terms of global indicators as to where we are heading. It's pretty quiet, but tech and banking looked a little weak. Yeah, oil and gas looking strong. And as I said, 1125 is, if we get that on Reliance, that's great. Nifty, again, 8740 is your technical level. So, beyond that, Nifty is just shopping on the downside or shopping on the upside. So, and Mohit's view is that maybe we'll find it difficult to sustain. Even then, we have multiple support levels because it rose in such a fashion, but we'll have to see exactly. Can we just bring up Reliance first? Now, as far as BPCL, HPCL, IOC is concerned, in pre-open, don't expect these stocks to move too much, for the simple reason that the reason they moved up to start out with, when you see 5% in a stock which is already, let's say, 150,000 crore in market cap, it's not done by retail buying, it's done by some serious institutional buying. So that may start. If there is any more momentum left, that may start once the markets open. Can we bring up an Axis Bank or a Yes Bank or a HDFC Bank and see ICICI Bank? So see, Axis actually, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this chart is all about, but this stock is under severe pressure. If it's just short covering, but usually if a stock structurally continues to fall, then it can't be just attributed to some kind of short selling or whatever. And even short sellers actually have to be very smart. I mean, you don't try to sell because you have to cover up. So short sellers, I'd say, are exceedingly smart people, even if they try a short. So and you need guts to try a short. So don't just say short selling so it'll be covered. The short sellers have some mindset for doing something like that. Okay, what else do we have? Let's look at some PSU banks. SBI, do we have maybe PNB or any of the other banks? Let's see if we can see some momentum there. Apart from that, really, there's nowhere else to look. As far as your telecom stocks is concerned, Spectrum or no Spectrum, I can't imagine any of the institutional guys getting excited. And without institutional buying, there's not going to be. Idea, on the other hand, maybe an interesting stock, right? I mean, because when you're, let's say, at the back end of the pack, and if you get that benefit of not having to pay higher raw materials, usually helps you the most. But we'll see. I mean, technically how they are. All right, can we just bring up some of the charts? I just want to show some of the charts. Can we bring up Axis Bank? And let's also bring up Idea. And we'll also take a look at Bharti. So look at the charts. If there was such excitement, it would have been shown up in the charts, but I don't think it shows up in any of these charts. No, just 1 year charts, because there's one day may not show anything on these stocks. So we'll look at all this. And okay, so here's Axis for you, as I said, breaking multiple supports. Can we just bring up this two telecom stocks, Bharti, Idea? We'll take a look at that. Mr. Subramaniam, for all Spectrum and not Spectrum, maybe very newsy, but the charts are on almost a permanent decline. I mean, if you look at Idea, it's a structurally adjusting stock.
Ashu, I think my sense is that most of probably the negatives are priced in, particularly in the case of an Idea. I don't see much of a downside. Yeah, maybe you could have some downside about, technically it has some support at around 70 or 75. But currently at current levels, it abysmally oversold on the long-term charts. And it may not be a screaming buy, but anybody going short will be doing it, could be quite perilous. And we could see some short covering or any positive news, I think could really trigger some short covering. And let's not forget that the telecom space in itself is, offers huge potential. So this is the competition hotting up that probably keeping these stocks under pressure. So for the time being, probably we could look at some of the telecom infra stocks, something like a Bharti Infratel, which has shown a lot of promise. In fact, even the non-F&O items, something like a GTL Infra, I mean, if you look at those stocks, I think we have seen some, they look like penny stocks. We have seen some serious rise in those counters. Sure. And of course, you cannot have smoke without fire. Obviously, there's something cooking there. So I think that is the space probably one could look at and probably wait for this competition to play up and reflect in terms of the bottom line. And probably we could take a call. But I think current levels, one could take a long-term bet on some of these counters like Bharti and Idea.
Right. All right, we'll get a technical view from Mohit and Ruchit on that in just a moment. Ankit Agarwal also joins us right now. He's fund manager at Centrum Broking. Ankit, always a pleasure to speak to you. I wanted to start out with two industries where creative destruction, if I may use that word, is actually making things cheaper and cheaper for consumers and making our lives easier, but it's also destroying companies at a pace that, at least in India, we have never seen in the past. And I wanted to start out with banks. I mean, yesterday's move of the Reserve Bank of India has essentially equated small finance banks and payment banks with any other traditional bank, with the exception that you can't take a deposit. But sometimes I wonder what's the big deal, because deposits anyway are growing at 3.3% and facing major competition from everything else. And just to quote you the example of Alibaba, within I think a month or month and a half, it became the largest money market fund in the US. So sometimes question of access to client data than anything else. But just your thoughts, Ankit, are we undergoing a structural change in the valuation of traditional banks?
Yeah, I mean, you rightly said that there are, new payment banks and, small finance banks, they are coming in, and the competitive intensity in the sector is definitely going to go up. how the way we look at it is that public sector banks, which traditionally had a significant chunk of loan disbursements, I think these public sector banks are the ones which will get hit the most. A, because they are suffering from capital adequacy issues, they have their own set of asset quality problems, and as a result, for them to grow in the future looks a little difficult. So I think the public sector banks are the ones which are going to significantly lose market share. And we believe that well-managed private sector banks will still continue to grow at the 15-20% rate that they have been. And mind you, a lot of these private sector banks are also adopting to the new paradigms of of fintech, and they are investing in these new technologies. So I think the private sector banks which are more agile and which have a better balance sheet, have lesser asset quality issues, I think they will be in a position to maintain their market share and probably grow from here. But I think the ones who will lose out in this whole in the new paradigm of banking would be the public sector banks, and I think those will be the ones which will lose major amount of market share.
All right, Ruchit. Sorry, I am coming back to you after quite some time. But Alkali Metals, Kanoria Chemicals, Axis Bank, Idea, and Bharti. If you have a view on any of these five, positive or negative, but just a chart pattern.
So if you first take Alkali Metals, then definitely last 2-3 trading sessions it has moved higher, but usually this stock is not that is not that liquid. So I think it's just 2 or 3 trading sessions prices have moved higher with higher volumes, but one needs to see whether it's sustainable in the future or not. So I would tend to avoid this stock as of now. Now coming on to large cap stocks, Axis Bank in short term it can be under pressure because we have seen some sort of low top low bottom formation, and recently this stock has also underperformed the broader indices. But if you observe the a bit weekly or the monthly charts, then there's a good strong support coming in around 490 to 500. So as far as short term trading is concerned, yes, I think further 4 to 5% downside should be there, and but around 490 to 500 if the stock comes there, those will be the good levels starting to create long positions again in Axis Bank. Specifically if you have a view of about 3 to 4 months or more than that. Idea on the monthly charts is forming a bullish harmonic pattern, and PRZ which is placed around 78 levels. So I think some sort of pullback rally should be seen in Idea in short term. One should not create any short positions, but in fact one can look to go long in the stock, but that would be only for a pullback rally and not for a structural change in the trend. So the stock could head higher towards 88 or 89 levels in next 15-20 trading session. So I would consider buying Axis Bank on dips around 490 to 500. Idea could be bought at current levels, and Bharti is expected to trade in a range, but I think some sort of positive biasness could be seen in Bharti also.
Mr. Subramanian, just coming back to some of the futures side. Now, if I had to buy, and I'm going to separate futures and options, if I have to buy a Nifty option, what should I buy and at what level at the moment in order to play the upside? Because the downside by and large seems limited. If I'm ready to take the risk, okay, if there's a downside, I'll just give up my premium. What price do I strike it at to play the upside?
To begin with, I think this could be a wrong time to buy options because we are getting into a very long, next week we are having 2 trading holidays, right. And that sort of shrinks the time value quite a lot. If we're going for selling off a strangle, so we are more comfortable doing selling off an 8800 strike call and maybe an 8500 strike put, which yields a rich, quite a rich premium because we are still in the early part of the series. So that could be a better strategy. Yeah, but if you want me to really try to play for a pullback, maybe one could wait for levels or maybe something like 8650. But I would probably not be very keen on jumping into it, and I would be more comfortable selling the options rather than buying into it for the time being.
Sure. But you have a number of strategies you were mentioning. Please go ahead.
Right. The first one is NMDC. It's a buy call with a stop loss at levels of 114.8 for targets of 120. It's seen a good up move in trade yesterday, and this can continue to move higher. I have then 3 sell calls, starting off with Gen Irrigation. It's a sell with a stop loss at 95.50 for targets of 90. Also, there's a sell on Jet Airways. It's a stop loss with levels of 478 for targets of 462. And lastly, a sell on Century Textiles. It's a sell with a stop loss at levels of 970 for targets of 925. All these sell calls are for between a day and 2.
Ankit, we've had the real rally is on the mid-cap side, and a lot of the stocks. Yesterday, I counted over 100 that were up almost 30% in a week, and dozens that were up about 50%, even a few that were up 70, 80%. How do you go around picking these stocks now, Ankit? Because some would say valuations are stretched, but we all know that we reach a particular point in the market where the mid-caps start to become large caps, start to get new institutional buyers. Also, the supply of the stock goes down. So sometimes they can give you 2-3 times returns if we can just keep valuation on the side a little bit, which means I don't mean keep valuation completely on the side, but coming up with some esoteric ratio that PE should be 10 or PE should be 20. If you are to play mid-cap, how would you do it at the moment, and which ones would you look at?
Yeah, so I mean, mid-caps, you have to be a little bit more stock-specific in nature. You can't use a generic, brush and sort of look at the mid-cap space on the whole. Even given a sector, you have to be really cognizant of how the company is looking to grow in the future. And if the company is looking at an exponential growth, then probably looking at near-term valuations might, investors might miss out on opportunities. So, we have seen companies, which are going through a sort of a J curve where, they grew at a steady pace, but now they are at that inflection point, when the company's numbers and revenues could really see a stark up move, and one needs to really look at these stocks on a more stock specific basis. And some of the sectors where we believe that the companies which were a little bit more regional specific are going more pan India, they have the triggers to grow even going ahead, and valuations probably in the near term might look a little bit expensive, but if any investor is looking at a 3 to 5 year period, then these companies could provide you significant returns. So there are companies in the consumer discretionary space in India which which are more region specific, which are looking to expand significantly. There are banks and NBFCs which have a much smaller book and much smaller regional presence, and they are looking to significantly expand. There are companies in the specialty chemical space which are seeing a lot of business moving out from China to India, specifically because of environmental concerns in China, and India being a good second source of supply for a lot of the MNC clients. So you are seeing a lot of companies which are present in these spaces, which are doing well, and our expectation is that these companies could significantly scale up over a period of time, and hence provides you a good opportunity even if the near-term valuations look a little bit expensive.
Ruchit, we'll have the market opening in a minute. If you could be kind enough and share whatever calls you have today in the next 30 seconds or so, that'll be great.
Yeah, so first call would be to go short in SBI with a stop loss about 265, expecting target of 242 in short term. The second call would be a sell call in OBC with stop loss about 135, expecting target of 118. And last call would be a sell call in Coal India with stop loss about 326 for target of 303. All the three stocks have formed a bearish pattern on the daily chart. So for time frame of next 8 to 10 trading sessions, we can go short on these three stocks.
Subramanian, you also have three stocks. Please go ahead.
Yeah, to begin with, Syntex Industries, which has not exactly been an a very exciting stock in the last few months, but suddenly has spiked up in some action. Now it's also nudging levels of 85. And we've also seen some long build-up taking place, and we've also had some good announcement in terms of the demerger, etc. Probably that's exciting the traders. So probably this could be bought for a possible target of 95, and one could keep a stop loss of 80. The second one is Media Stock TV18 broadcast, where we have seen some good, decent open interest built up. Right. Could be bought for a target of 55.
Right. We'll just come back to your last pick. My apologies. We'll just take the markets first. Just about 4 points. It's a quiet market, and as you notice in some of your telecom stocks, the market really, it's a telecom game, but I don't know if the markets are really enthused this way or that way. You may have specific stories. So let's just start with Reliance first. Then let's just put up State Bank of India, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and I just want to take the main stocks to see Axis Bank, Yes Bank. So Bank still seems under some kind of pressure, but we'll see if Axis as nothing at all today. And let's now look at oil and gas stocks. Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, Indian Oil, Gas Authority of India, Cain India, Indraprastha Gas. That's where the momentum was really building up. So that momentum has continued. And we'll see if, just wait for some part of the day to see whether, we start to see a major uptick there. Let's look at some of the public sector banks. Allahabad, Central, Indian Bank, Punjab National Bank, maybe Syndicate, Dana. Yesterday, all of them were under pressure. We'll see if, so it's a mixed picture. That's what I said. In some of these public sector banks, you have awesomely strong charts. So, charts suddenly adjusting, it can happen, but usually it's kind of risky to be on that side of the fence. Some of the smaller stocks, if you can take a look at, Alkali Metals, Kanoria Chemicals. I'll also see if anything new has moved in today. Alkali, and you have Kanoria Chemicals. And KM Sugar, again, I mean, it's almost up 40% in the last 3 days. Orient Abrasives, that stock also is looking strong on the charts. So that's up around, I think, 7-odd%. There's a company called Ducon Infra. I have no idea what they do, but that stock's almost up 100% in the last 1 month. DUCON, Ducon, and so again, about around 5% today. And I'll check out the charts for Sundaram Farmers. Not a major move there. And Bombay Burma, again, a very strong chart that's continued. On the mid cap, you're starting to see auto ancillaries keeping up that technical momentum. Sona Koyo Steering, Rane Brakes, many more. I'll just come back to them in a moment. Murarji Textiles, even textile stocks were pretty strong. We'll not get into the fundamentals of this, we'll just see the charts. Murarji Textiles, if you can bring that one up. And IDBI Bank. I'll take Reddington for you later. Don't put Reddington up because it's very important to see the chart there. IDBI Bank, that's for you. Stray Infrastructure, again, very strong. That's continuing. Now, IFCI is up around 2%. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll check it for you. I think this Tourism Finance Corporation was promoted by IFCI at some point. So if tourism finance has almost doubled or tripled, how can IFCI be sitting where it is? Just off the cuff, do you remember, Mr. Subramanian, this tourism finance I thought was an IFCI subsidiary at one point?
In fact, there is also other trigger in terms of they have also got a stake in NSE. So this stock has potential, but somehow has been more of a nervous stock where we see some profiting coming about. But my sense is that yes, I mean, even I'm not very sure, but it could be a good long-term pick, I would guess.
Right. So if they have a stake in NSE, of course, then for somebody like IFCI, it really helps a lot if they can see an upside in some of those stocks. Mohit, anything you scanned at the beginning?
Well, Siemens is looking weak on the charts, and this could perhaps head lower towards levels of 1210. So this could be short with a stop loss at levels of 1250 on the upside. Also, ACC is looking weak on the charts, and this could drift lower towards levels of 1590. So this could be short with a stop loss at levels of 1625. So far, these two stocks look weak and good candidates to short for the day.
Right. Also, Barak Valley Cements, we'd spoken about that. That one's, the Sunflag Iron. Somehow, maybe the iron stocks are just kind of getting out of their trough. Maybe that's the case. So, can you show Sunflag Iron on a 1-year chart, and then we'll see what's going on. See, as far as this Reddington is concerned, look, you can either take a technical view or you can take a fundamental view. But saying iPhone 7 sales will happen, see, look at Sunflag. That's what I was saying. Just look at some of the momentum. Now, Reddington is not the kind of stock you want to be in this time of, so technically there's nothing in the chart. Maybe it's just better to go and buy that phone. It'll just be cheaper. But anyway, I mean, it's your call. I just showed you the chart and what's looking. Richard, anything that came across to you on the charts? Surprisingly, I've seen a lot of stocks like iron and steel stocks doing very well, or metal stocks. Like Sunflag Iron, Richard, could you explain what's going on there? Because, we'll keep saying iron and steel is not doing well, but some of the stocks technically have given pretty decent returns if you've been trading.
Yes, definitely. That usually happens when we see a lot of big caps giving a good amount of rally. Now, coming on to the stock, Sunflag Iron, one needs to see a positional charts in this. in June 2010, I'm speaking about on the monthly charts. In June 2010, the stock had resistance around the level of 35, from where it corrected right up to I think 10 or 12 odd rupees. From there again the stock rallied and again came up to 34 rupees, 34 levels in 2014, and from there again the stock corrected up to 16 rupees. This shows that on a longer term charts, since last 6-7 years, twice the stock had rallied up to 34, 35 from where the stock had corrected significantly. Now this is for the first time in last many years that the stock has crossed that resistance level of 35, and that too has been backed by some improving volumes. So I think this is a good breakout on a longer term charts. So this could head for a potential on the upside up to 45, 46, or even higher there, or even higher if the volume continues to remain on the higher side. So I think one should trade this stock with positive bias with a positional perspective, since this is a multi-year breakout of 35, which was the earlier resistance.
Right. Ankit, your thoughts on iron and steel. I'm sure the companies are in some kind of pressure, and but my thought is sometimes you have to also look at these industries as cyclical, and suddenly the cycle changes. And we're also putting all these stocks in the same lot. So whether it's a Sunflag or a Visa or whoever else, but many of them manufacture very different stuff. And prices are not moving together for cold rolled, hard rolled, or other kind of steels. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we were much more comfortable taking a valuation call in some of the cyclical space, somewhere when we were sitting in Feb and March of this year. But if I look at the metal space as a whole, it has seen a significant rally in the last 6 months. The metal index has given in excess of 30-40% return in the last 1 year, and at current prices probably will not be so comfortable to get fresh into something like iron, steel, or the metal space, specifically because like you rightly said, it's a cyclical space. One can't really predict how the global prices are going to move. They are dependent a lot on how the global macros pan out, and if you see the global situation today, things are not looking too great in Europe, Japan, and even China. So there was a valuation call that one could have taken in and around Feb, March, but now probably we will not be so comfortable getting fresh into the iron, steel, or the commodity space in general.
All right, Ankit, thanks very much for joining us. Ankit Agarwal, Fund Manager at Centrum Broking. Rajit, I wanted to take a couple of other stocks. Now, I mean, they're penny, but now the problem is lots of penny stocks are starting to do well. PSL Limited, Tarapur Transformers. I'm actually picking up pennies to see if we can see something there. LGB Forge Limited, Century Extrusions. Look, I have no idea. Maybe these companies are in BIFR for all I know. So, as I said, but penny stocks, you get excited about it from time to time. So I thought, let's see what happens. Rajit, any thoughts on these or any other penny that you have seen that may actually clink at some point?
Well, so I usually don't track any of these stocks, or for many time I have not looked any of these stocks. But definitely, I think one should not get carried away in these penny stocks at this time when the markets are trading, at the higher levels of around 9,000 post hitting a low of around 7,400 just 6 months ago. Yes, had that been a case about 5 to 6 months earlier, when the markets were after a corrective mode has just resumed the uptrend or had just started the uptrend, then I think it would have been made sense to get into such kind of stocks wherein the risk would be high, but the upside potential was quite good. At these levels, getting into these stocks would be tend to get in stocks with much higher risk. So I think one should definitely avoid this stock. Yes, there is a good amount of rally going on in the mid caps and the small cap stocks. So for short term perspective, you may see some sort of up moves coming in such stocks. But rather than getting caught into this stock and then worrying when the stock comes down and not getting an opportunity exit, it's better to avoid this stock and trade in the good mid cap and the large cap names which are quite liquid enough.
Right. So as I had mentioned to you in the morning, see, one of the reasons I don't see PSU banks actually stop their run is because everybody's negative and everybody tries a short. Everybody gets trapped. See, you're dealing with the LICs of the world and the government of India. They are the main owners of these banks. Whether they have good prospects or bad prospects, the government can fund it forever. There are some PSUs that haven't made money and not a worker has gone to work for the last 10, 15, 20 years. They're still running. So, we shouldn't underrate the power of the government to actually hold on to these stocks, and they will. And so that's one of the reasons you have to be very careful trying to trade PSU stocks on the short side. And I'll just mention a couple right now. Indian Bank, can we bring it up? That's up around 2%. Corporation Bank, that's up around 1.5%. Central Bank, that's up around 1%. And then of course oil and gas. Indian Oil, Hindustan Petroleum, BPC have all continued to run up. Mangalore refineries, that means that momentum is intact at the moment. And you want to just keep that in mind as we go forward. Your thoughts? I think you had one more stock, Mr. Subramanian, that I didn't ask you about. And on PSU banks, sometimes I just feel that there are so many doubters in the market that for anybody who has like 100 crore, because the float is low, and you're sure that the government's not going to sell, to spike them up on a particular day is not a big deal. Just purely on a technical basis, I'm not getting into the fundamentals of these stocks.
Yeah, but we have of course seen some serious run-up, and normally this pessimism gets overdone. I mean, optimism and pessimism gets overdone in the market, and probably that's what happened in the PSU banks. But we have also seen a decent rise in most of the counters. From that aspect, I think my sense is that in a couple of quarters, probably the NPA woes might just recede in the background, and the actual operations of people will start looking at NIMs, etc., and start comparing the private sector peers. And that will be the space where people start focusing. And there, I think still a lot of catching up needs to be done, considering the fact that you also have a lot of the digital competition coming into play. So that will be one area probably will catch focus in the coming months. And as far as my picks goes, as I mentioned, Syntex decent bet for a possible target of 95, and one could keep a stop loss of 80. Also, one could look at media stock TV18 broadcast for a possible target of 55 and stop loss of 42. And Oil India, of course, we have seen some spike in some the oil prices, and Oil India has seen some sort of decent bottom formation. Could be bought for a possible target of 435, and maybe one could keep a stop loss of 402.
What, any thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, Adi Finchem is one that's looking good on the charts. It's seen a good up move in trade today. We can see levels of 520 next here, so it's a buy with a stop loss at 480. Also, A Birla Nuvo is coming up strongly in trade today, and this can head higher towards levels of 1450 to 1460. It's a buy with a stop loss at levels of 1415.
All right, Smita, we got any more time, or we're okay. Rajit, thanks for joining us. You have a great weekend ahead. Thanks for taking the time. Mr. Gaba, have a great weekend from me. I'm sure you're on some other program today. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Subramanian, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. All right, Market Guru is going to be up next. We're going to be speaking to Dheeraj Sachdev. He is with HSBC Global Asset Management in just a moment.